Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Term 1 session. Students who have joined so far: Rahul, Nandurani, Suryamugam, Yuvika, Chavi, Kumar, Ankit, Pooja, Abhish, Jyoti, Mohit, Naman, Vaibhav, Vindhasini, Pankaj, Yash, Dharmendra, Yogita, Mansi, Hussein, Raj, Rij, Shivam, Shubham, Vishnu, Aslesha, Misbah, Surbhi, Ankit, Anandita, and Devajiti, and few guest students. Yes, Abhish, Manish, your name is showing again Kumar Ankit. I don't know why every day this confusion takes place, but I don't know. I mean, are there two students in Pitampura? One is Manish and another is Kumar Ankit. Are there two students in Pitampura? Manish and Kumar Ankit. So somehow both of your IDs get confused. I mean, maybe you are using the same system. Maybe the logout has not been done properly. I mean, something is wrong with it. I mean, last day also it had a similar problem. All of you have given your cycle test on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I mean, before today your cycle test is over. All of you. We have completed till IO. Only 6 students have responded. Chavi, Rahul, Pooja, Anindita, Dharmendra, that yes, they have given cycle test. What about the rest? Sorry. Okay, it's better that I take a poll. Answer here in the poll. I need a screenshot of this. Please write down the reason why you have not given the cycle test on 3rd. Suryamugam, Yuvika, Kumar Ankit or Manish, whoever that is, Yogita and 2 guest students from Andheri. Please write it in raise hand. Why have you not given the cycle test? Why have you not given the cycle test? Okay. What about the students of 842? Yogita, Yuvika, Suryamugam. So Suryamugam, you will give the cycle test today and send me your marks via mail. Okay. So Manish or Kumar Ankit, whoever that is, if you're busy in another work and if you could not find 20 minutes time to give us cycle test within 4 days, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, then I don't know how much you will score in your exam. If other works are that important that you cannot invest 20 minutes for one cycle test within 4 days, if you cannot give 20 minutes, then I don't know where is your sincerity level. Okay, so we have completed till IO. All of you have done the practicals. IO, till IO your practicals have been conducted. Input output, file, read write, practicals, exercises, practical. Any reason, Chavi, why you could not do the practical? Any reason, Chavi, why you could not do the practical? Okay, make sure you do it by this week. Okay, so today we are going to move to something called NIO, which is a new feature in Java 7. NIO means new IO version, okay? In the older version, we saw how we can do simple task of file read and file write when we are going to, when we go for any file access, file read write operation, how we can use the reader, writer, or input stream reader, file input stream reader, file output stream reader, all those things. I mean, how we can use the predefined classes to access the data which is there in a different file, or to store or write something in the file which is outside your Java environment in two ways, either using the raw bytes or either using the Unicode characters. So now we will see that there is an advanced version of this IO which is NIO, new IO, new input operator, input output operation. And what is the new about it? First thing, it is much more flexible than normal IO. Second thing, it can deal with number of files. Like when you are talking about only IO, there you can do, there you can access only one file at a time, okay? But when we are talking about NIO, new IO, we are talking about large sets of files, okay, multiple files, and we can also deal with directories and subdirectories. That means we can deal with folders with the help of NIO. We can use folders, we can use the files inside folders and do a little more complex work with the help of NIO. Okay, so let us go to the whiteboard. So it is a new feature introduced in Java 7. It will provide flexible file system interface. It has redefined APIs. All of you know what is API? All of you know what is API? Raise hands. All of you know what is API? Yes, correct. Application programming interface. Supports asynchronous What is meant by this asynchronous? What is meant by this asynchronous? Raise hands, please. Yes, Akshaya, correct. Which means input can go on separately and output can go on separately. Okay? Input can go on separately, input will not be dependent on output to get completed, and output will not be dependent on input to get completed. Okay? So it can run parallelly. Right? I hope everybody has understood. I don't see any queries in raise hands. It can access large sets of files and directories. Can work across different platforms. Okay. I hope you're taking this down. Anybody having any query at any line, please stop me and ask me. I want to see raise hands from all of you. Only handful of students respond in the raise hands. I don't know what the rest of you do. Abhish, you were present when I was teaching you synchronous. Remember, I used the word synchronous. See, Abhish, let's say this is a task 1, and let's say this is task 2. Task 1 is going on, it will complete, then task 2 will start. Okay, but there can be another scenario where task 1 is running and task 2 is also running parallelly. So this is my synchronous activity and this is my asynchronous activity. Is that clear, Abhish? Borivali and Abhish from Prithvihar. Borivali guest student and Abhish from Prithvihar. Is this okay? Borivali guest student, is it clear? Okay. So now as we saw here that it can access large sets of files and directories, that means files and folders, that means it is following the file system. Okay. So file system, hierarchical structure, let me just draw the hierarchy. So our root, which is let's say D drive. Okay. Wait a minute, Shubham, let me complete this. There you have two folders. One is labs, another is documents and settings. Okay. Documents and settings have two folders, subdirectories. Admin and students. Okay. Admin will have a file as admin.txt and students will have files like student1.txt, student2.txt, like that. So for reaching a particular file, you have to go through the hierarchy of the file system. Can everybody read this with your own computer, where you can see this hierarchy every day when you open the Explorer, Windows Explorer? Can everybody relate to this? Okay, Shubham, I think you wanted this page. Quickly take this. I'm giving you this NIO page. Now take this image. All of you, out of 45 students, 43 students, why only these handful people are responding? Now in order to access any file, which is located in this hierarchy, what do you have to use? Any idea? Let's say I want to access the file student1.txt. What do I have to use? Raise hands, please. If I want to access, yes, Akshay, correct. Yes, so Chavi, how will you search? Yes, Rahul, correct. So what is that called? Like you are going to follow something to reach to this level, na? So what is that called? What are others doing? Why aren't they replying? Connaught Place, Pitampura, Pridya, Rajori, Saute, Sandheri, Bandra, Borivali, Mashi, Vasai, Kalyan, Pune Kharadi, Silchar. Yes, correct, Rahul. So, I can say order to access a file from any location of the file system, we need the path or the URL. Okay, the path can be of two types. One is absolute path. Here the entire URL is written as address. Okay, like for example, the documents and settings student1.txt. So entire path till I reach the file, that entire URL will be given. That is called absolute path. That is called absolute path. Okay? Or you can have relative path. Here a portion of URL is combined with another portion to get the entire address. Like you will give the address as only student1.txt. Okay, what will happen if you are doing this? You have to add it, concatenate it with some other path which has the root and the subdirectory. Okay, you have to add it. Your relative path will only give you this portion. You have to add it to some other variable that has the path portion of the first half, that is the drive and the subfolder. Raj, Manoj from Borivali, you have to talk to your local technical person, because what is not working in your machine right now I will not be able to see, but my machine is in full screen. All of you can see this whiteboard in full screen. Few people are saying yes, few people are saying no. Let me take a... Now check and tell me. Full screen. Full screen view now. Majority of you are saying yes, so I guess if somebody is having a problem, it's a sporadic problem. Okay. Now let's move to symbolic. All of you have taken this down and I'm moving to symbolic link. Okay, this part, the ink is not that dark, so I'm going to call it out. Relative part, here a portion of URL is combined with another portion to get the entire address. Okay? Combined with another portion to get the entire address. Okay? All of you take this down. Only Pooja, Chavi, Akshaya is saying done. What about the rest? Okay. Now let's move to symbolic link. You will have short questions from this topic. Okay? Symbolic link. out the camera a little for whiteboard. So this is a file which holds the reference of another file. It is also called as symlink or softlink. This file looks same as any other file, but it does not contain any data as such. It only contains the URL of another file. Okay? Only Akhlesha is saying okay. The rest of you, please take it. Okay. Next we go to something called path interface. I'll tell you the interface package. Java .nio .file .path. Okay. This interface provides the entry point for the files and directory, tasks and operation. Okay? So you write something like this. File system fs equals to file system dot get default, then you write path p1 equals to file system fs dot get path is just path. Okay. File default, bracket open, bracket close, bracket open, bracket close. Path p1 equals to fs dot get path and then the entire URL, D drive, labs, folder, myfile.txt. So that means path object, as I told you, path interface will what? It will provide us the entry points, it will provide us the first step, that is locating the path, locating the address. So with the help of path object, you will be able to get the path and locate the path and save it in the fs object. And from fs object, it is stored in the p1 path object. So later, wherever you write p1 dot open or something, then this myfile.txt will open. Okay. Zoom out. Can we zoom out? 1 minute, Andheri. We are trying to zoom out. Andheri, if you want, I can call it out. Currently, I am not being able to, zoom out. P1 equals to fs dot get path within double quotes, D drive / labs / folder / myfile.txt quotes close bracket close. Is it okay? Okay. Let me tell you something. These // they are all called escape characters. So you better follow the convention and write it. Taken everybody, this page? Now next, how to remove the redundancy from a path. Okay. Now in many file systems, dot is used to denote current directory, and two dots, conservative two dots, is used to denote the parent directory. Okay. NIO provides a methodology called normalize, which is used to remove such dot or double dot redundancy from the path. Okay. I will show all the syntaxes, don't worry. First take this down. Take this down. All of you, very feeble response from this batch. Okay. Next is creating a subpath. NIO provides a method which is used to get a part or portion of path out of an absolute path. Okay, so when you get a part or a portion out of an absolute path, you use a method called subpath. Okay, this method is called done. Okay, then you have something called joining two paths. NIO provides a method which is used to join two or more parts of path together to create an absolute path. This method is called resolve. Okay? All of you? All of you taken? Let's start the camera. So these are the theory where we understood that NIO is a predefined interface, but it has certain features. and certain predefined methods and interfaces which we can use, like the path interface, very important. With the help of the path interface object, we can actually go to a relative address or a absolute address. We can use a normalized method to remove the redundancy of the address so that we can get the actual address. We can create a subpath. We can use the subpath method to get a portion of the address, so we can turn one absolute reference into relative reference with the help of subpath. If we have two separate paths, we can join it together with the help of resolve method and create a path. So whatever operations we are going to do with large number of files and folders and directories, we can do that easily with NIO because we have all these predefined APIs. Okay. After this, whatever read-write operations you have learned, that you can normally do on the files. But accessing the file will be in a different way in NIO, because earlier we were accessing only single file. Here, if you are accessing a particular folder with some absolute reference, you will be able to see all the files inside that folder. Whereas in the previous class we saw that we are accessing only one file. Here you will be able to access all the files. Okay, so that is a basic difference. So I'll take a short break here, 5 minutes break. We will come back and start off with the coding. Okay, let's have a short break. Everyone back? Everybody back? Are you back in your seat? Okay, so I've prepared certain demo for you. You can see the first example we have here is of a normal file access operation that we are doing. Normal, just viewing the list of files. So we are using the packages. You can see package NIO. Will it be okay if I'm enlarging the font? Okay, so we are using certain package, that is Java IO dot star. We will also write import Java dot NIO dot file dot star. Okay. Now, as usual, we are using try-catch block for file read-write operation. Here, what are we doing? We are creating an array name drive file data type. That means the type of data which will be stored in this array will be file name. Okay? Okay? And then we are calling the list root method of file. So this method will take the list of the root directories present in your system and store the directory name in the drive array. Okay? And then you are creating a for loop. You are creating a for loop to display the directory names. So this outer loop is used to display directory names it will store each name from drive array, each name from each index position of drive array, and store it in the F object of file. Okay? I think if I minimize the size, it will be better. Okay? Then in line number 20, what are we doing? Printing each name of directory. Yeah, I will do it, Kanchan. I will send this to your group. Okay? But this writing, this is for dynamic. This is I'm doing it in the machine right now. You take a snap of this, Kanchan, but the code I will share, but all these writings, these explanations which I am giving right now, you will not get it along with the code. You take a snap of this, and when I share the code and you practice that code, refer to the snap, you will be able to understand. Okay, Kanchan? Okay. Now again, for each directory or drive, whatever we are navigating, we will list the file names and store it in my files array. Okay? So with every turn of the loop, this F, which is the file object, is getting one value of the drive, either C drive, D drive, E drive, whichever drive. Each time it is navigating each drive and it is fetching that drive name. So for that drive name, so let's say for the first time F has C drive. So if I write F dot list files, it will list all the files present in C drive. In the next for loop turn, F will go to the next index of drive where it will have D drive. So now F will become D. So for D drive, whichever is the list of files that it will fetch and store it in my file. So like that it will go. And then you have the inner for loop. Inner loop to navigate the my files array and store each file name. Then in this line, each file name is picked up and stored in F1. Okay. Then if the file name is a directory, it will display the name along with this dir tag. Otherwise it will just display the name. That's it. Okay. So now I am going to this particular machine. Going to this PC. How many drives it has? How many drives this machine has right now? How many drives? Four drives. C drive, D drive, E drive and F drive. 4 drives are there. Okay. In each drive there are directories or folders. Int pub, perflog, program files 86, push directory, users, windows. Okay. Now under each folder here we have again another set of folders. Again each folder we have another set of folders. Again each folder we have some set of files. Okay. But I don't want all this. I just want that inside each directory what is the file or folder. Now as you can see that inside C there is only one file. Only one file to stack. Rest all are folders. Rest all are directories. Only one file is there. Similarly for D drive, all are directories. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 files are there. Rest all are directories. Okay. So I want this same data on my Java output. So that's why I have written this file, programming, NIF programming, and I will right click and run this file. Now look at the first line, drives of system. C, it is showing C drive, and under C drive whatever files and folders are there it is displaying. Now notice under C drive it is only showing 1 2-stack file and boot manager, boot next, BAK and sys file, all the sys files. Okay. Rest everything is folder under C drive. That's why it is showing dir tag along with the folder name, because you will not understand which name is a file name and folder name. So that's why against every folder name it is displaying the dir. Why it is displaying this? Because I have written here that if the file name is directory then display it with dir tag. So that's why it is displaying. After it is done with C drive, it again goes to loop, outer loop, and goes to D drive and displays all the D drive content. In the D drive also, whichever folders are present, it is coming with dir, and the files are coming raw, like Hyper file, okay, LPush, MS Excel 1, listener. So these are all file names. They are all just shown like this, and any name which is a folder name, they are shown against dir. Is this clear? Is this example clear? All of you? All of you, is this example clear? Okay. Now let's go to another example where we are doing certain file operations, like we are creating a directory. Okay. So in the D drive, inside the Mansi, if it is not clear, please raise hand again. I will take you on air. Mansi from Borivali, please write down your doubt. I will take you on air. Mansi from Borivali, if you have any doubt, please write in raise hand. Okay. Now look at this second example. Here also we are not using any file. We will only use NIO file. So we are using NIO, no IO is required. And we are using the path interface. I told you while teaching the theory that path comes under file only. So if I write, instead of star, if I write file dot, see, path is coming. But I have to then separately write path matcher, path. Instead of doing all that, I am directly writing star, all. Okay. Then what am I doing? Path, directory, path dot get, D drive demo dot my directory. This is a folder name. Path, T directory, which is variable. Files dot create directory, TDIR. System.out.println directory created successfully. Path P files equals to path.get D dot demo dot my directory, that is my dir p1.txt. Files dot create file T file. System.out.println files created successfully. That means first I am creating a folder. Then I am creating a file inside the folder. Okay? How? It is calling the create directory method, which is already there in path, and it is passing an object TDIR, and this object has the path of D directory, demo, my directory. D drive, demo folder, my D folder. Okay. So now let's go to D drive. Demo. Inside demo, nothing is created. Now let me execute this file, this program. So directory created successfully and file created successfully. So see, inside demo everything was empty. Now the my directory folder is there, and inside the folder the P1 test file is also there. Okay, I will delete this folder once again. I'm permanently deleting this. So see, demo is now empty. Everybody can see that demo folder is currently empty. But when I run this program, file operation 2, run, directory created successfully, file created successfully. So then my directory folder is also created, and inside that the text is also created, text file. But the file is currently empty, and in order to write data in this file, you have to use file output stream, file input stream, all those things. Okay? Clear? Second example clear? Write it in raise hand, don't click plus signs. Okay. Now as I was saying, there are some methods like normalize. Okay. What did we learn in normalize? That sometimes we use a single dot. If you remember, give me the whiteboard one. If you remember this theory, that in many file systems we denote single dot as current directory and double dot as parent directory, right? So now, here you can see in the D drive, there is a folder as demo. Okay, D is the direct parent of demo, but I have written parent twice, one with double dots, another with D. So in order to normalize it, I will write path P equals to path dot normalize. Okay. Let me write it in this way. Okay, so path P1 has the actual address, but then this actual address has a redundant parent with double dot as well as with D. So we are normalizing that path and putting the actual path in P2, and then displaying the path and then displaying the count. So I am executing this file. Okay. So there is only one folder inside the parent folder, that is D demo. One folder in a sense, according to this path, there is only one level folder D, and immediately after that you have demo. So one redundancy from between has been moved. Okay. So when it gets the name, there is only one name count in this URL, that is demo folder. Okay, it is removing the dot dot. This third example, is it clear? Third example, is this clear? Now let's go to subpath example. So subpath, as I told you, from the parent it will take till the third portion. So So we have a path D drive, DATMD, coil folder, Anu folder, and from here I want to take a path from 1 to 3. So if I execute this, so instead of, let's say, from 3, if I give only 2, then it will show me only till coil. Okay? Why? Because from the first folder, DATMD, after root, see, D is the root folder. D is the root folder. After that, DATMD, D is the root drive. Okay? After that, the first directory is DATMD, second is coil, subdirectory is coil, and then third is Anu. Now, if I write from the first directory, I want the second name or till the second position, then it will give me only coil. It's only giving me coil. Now if I write, give me the path till the third subdirectory, then it will give me like this. If you write like this and write 4, then it will give me like this. Okay? If you write like this, then it will give me from the second position, that is from second direct subdirectory coil, it will give me till 4th, which is Trisha and Anu. How will that make a difference, Mohit? Give me the camera. Mohit, how will that make a difference? There will be no syntactical difference in this or in this command prompt. So where exactly are you facing the issue? No, from the root directory, because root is a drive. That's not the directory. And that's the parent root directory, that's the drive. Mohit, I'm asking you that are you facing any particular issue in using NetBeans where you're not getting a clarity? Because in the industry you will not be using command prompt for development. All development has to be done through IDE, either NetBeans or Eclipse, everywhere. There's nothing to hesitate. There's nothing to hesitate, Mohit. I'm asking you where you are facing issue, so that once you tell me the issue, I can resolve the issue. If you're facing an issue, there's nothing to be embarrassed or shy. You can tell me that this is where I'm facing a clarity issue. Please give me the clarity. But I will myself not encourage you to do something which you will not require in future. If you're having any issue in using NetBeans, please tell me. There will be no syntactical difference if you're using command prompt or anything. Anybody who is having issue in using NetBeans? Yes, Thursday I will decide whether there will be any CC, any cloud consultation on Friday or not. Because standing on Thursday, I will be able to say what is the current status of the batch and do you require any doubt clearing or not. Okay, Manish, I think you are having an issue. Manish from Pitampura. I don't know whether it is Manish or Kumar Ankit. I've taken you on air. Please tell me what issue you are facing in using NetBeans. Kumar Ankit or Manish, whoever that is from Pitampura, I am not able to connect to you because there is no audio. Neither your headphone is working nor your camera is working. So I will not be able to help. Please write. Pankaj from Southex. I'm taking you on air, Pankaj. Pankaj, any issue you are facing in using NetBeans? Just type yes or no. Pankaj. Okay. Yes, Abhish, I will upload the entire zip folder with this code as well as some other code also, additional codes also. Dharmendra from Kimax Street. Dharmendra, facing any issue in NetBeans? Dharmendra, you're on air. Dharmendra from Kimax Street. Adjust your camera. Yes, Dharmendra, you're facing any issue in using NetBeans? Are you saying something? I'm not able to hear. Dharmendra, are you facing any issue in using NetBeans? Dharmendra, can you hear? Who else is there from Kimax Street? I don't think Dharmendra understands how to respond on air, so please ask the technical person to help him out. Let's have the end of session questions. Don't worry, Abhish, I will share all these codes with you in the group. What I'll do is I'll upload the entire zip file, this NIO example project that I've created with multiple, because not only in this batch, in every batch I require this. So I always keep these demos ready because this is the easiest way you can understand and it maps with your book. So when you see the similar code in the book, you are able to easily recollect what you learned in the class. So I will take this entire project, zip it and upload it in your group. Okay? Please don't miss out on any cycle test. Those of you have not given, please give it. This week you don't have any cycle test, but you have a PMR on 13th. Okay? I have checked your schedule also. Your next cycle test is on 14th and 13th, that is Monday, 1:30 to 3:30. You have your PMR, and PMR time and date cannot be changed. Neither it can be missed, because PMR has lot more marks than your each cycle test. This PMR marks is also added to the final marks, and you don't have 48 hours time for PMR. Whatever date and time is showing, you have to go to the center in that time, day, on that day, and complete the PMR. Okay? So Thursday we will decide whether we need a cloud consultation on Friday or not. Don't worry about the codes, I'll share it. But make sure that you remember this. 13th is your PMR. Inform your faculty today itself. 13th, 1:30 you have your PMR and 14th you have your next cycle test. Okay? Thank you everybody. we can end the session.